Alright guys, so what do I do on a daily basis? How do I spend my time and how do I run my day to run a multi-six-figure business? So if you're new here, my name is Adam Walsh and I run a multi-six-figure marketing agency where we help online coaches and brands basically take their Instagram and their social media to the next level. I also teach people who want to start freelancing or social media marketing how to get started and how to build an agency. So as I mentioned, I'm going to take you through a quick walkthrough of basically just what I do on a daily basis, right? So this routine is not set, right? This changes every day and every week depending on what I'm doing, right? One week I might have more calls than normal and another week I might have a lot less. Another week I might be traveling, another week I may not. Now, at the moment, I haven't been traveling as much in the past year, so it's probably going to look a little bit different than it would have a year ago. So at the time of recording this, I'm in Spain, but apart from this, I haven't done a whole lot of travel in 2020 due to unforeseen circumstances. So I'm going to open up my laptop and walk you through absolutely everything I do on a daily basis, how I structure my day as well to be productive, get a lot of stuff done, and also run a very efficient business. Now, before I do that, I just want to let you know that I've opened up some spaces in my six-figure accelerator program, and it's where we basically help aspiring agency owners get started and on the runway to six-figure in the best way possible. So you can book a call with myself in the description. There'll be a link down there, and basically we can just hop on a call to see if you'd be a good fit for the program. Alright guys, so here we go. The first kind of thing that I do, as you can imagine, is I wake up, right? So like my wake up really depends. The time at which I wake up does vary, right? It's not set all year round. Like at the moment, what I'm doing is I wake up naturally at about 8 a.m. and then I've got an alarm for 8:30 in the case that I slept in and I slept past 8 a.m. and I slept to 8:30. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Before I've done this, I was like 7 a.m. and then there's been other times where I've done 6:30 a.m. But usually for me, 8 a.m. is kind of the sweet spot. On average, I probably get 9 hours of sleep per night. And for me, if I don't get that, I definitely notice it. And sleep is something I'm really, really obsessive about. And if I don't get a good sleep, it really does affect my day and my productivity. So whether you're just starting off with entrepreneurship or you've been doing it for a while, sleep is definitely something you should look at. The grind all day and hustle all day mindset and sleep when you're dead is complete BS. I do not think it is any way valid. Your wealth is not determined by the amount of hours you put in. It's about the quality of the work you do and then how you can actually treat yourself in your time off work to relax and come back rejuvenated to your work. That's kind of what I do there. And the second thing then is I start my morning routine, right? So my morning routine, again, this isn't set. This is just what it looks like at the moment, at this present time. Okay, so what I do is do 10 minutes of yoga, and this is just stretch out my body because I've literally been lying down in a bed for 9 hours. So I want to move my body, I want to stretch it, and I want to make sure that I'm kind of getting that energy flow in the right place. So do a bit of yoga, takes me 10 minutes, and then I do meditation. This again is probably 5-10 minutes, nothing too crazy. And it's just to kind of quieten the mind, to tame the monkey in my brain and to just kind of set a bit of a positive intention for the day. And then what I do after that then is I do my journaling, right? So in this, I basically set my plan for the day, right? The things I want to achieve, not the specific hour by hour breakdown, but more so the big goals, right? So work on X, Y, and Z or spend time doing X, Y, and Z. I'll also put in other things like what I'm grateful for or little reminders. And something I've been doing in the last month or so is I'm basically writing down every single day how I'm going to basically serve my health, my wealth, love, and happiness. Okay, so I go through those 4 areas and I'm basically saying, what am I doing today that's going to help my health, right? What am I doing today? It's going to help my wealth, my love, and then my happiness, okay? So that's kind of what I do in the morning, and then I basically finish it off and I go for a walk, right? So all in all, if I wake at 8 a.m., I'm ready to work at 9. So all in all, I'm ready to work at around 9 a.m. if I've woken up at 8 and I've done that routine meticulously. Sometimes it'll go a little bit over and sometimes it'll go under, right? So I might be finished at 8:40 or something like that. So for me, the first bit of work that I do is what I like to call deep work. You've probably heard that term before, and essentially for me anyway, what it means is work that is undistracted, right? So I'm not using my phone and I'm not going on social media or anything like that. I'm not checking emails. I'm not even checking Slack messages. It's basically work that I'm doing that is super productive and it requires a lot more brain power, right? So to give you an example of what this is at the moment, this for me is maybe 2 to 3 hours, right? And this is broken up into 45-minute to 50-minute blocks. And in there, what I'm working on right now is sales and outreach, okay? So So obviously sales and outreach is something I'm obsessed about anyway for my agency, but at the moment, we're doing good, but our growth isn't as fast as I wanted it to be in the past few months. So the way we're now going to scale, and kind of make those steps towards the very high 6-figure mark and, close to the 7-figure mark in the next few months, in the next year or so, is going to be spending a lot of time on sales and outreach, right? So our goal now is to book in like 40 calls a week, and we're definitely a while off that. We're probably getting 10 a week or something like that. So, we want to be getting those big numbers. And to do that doesn't just happen, right? I have to build systems. I've got to hire people. We've got to do a bunch of things there to take what we're doing and multiply it. Because what will get you 1 client won't get you 10 clients, okay? And like what you're doing on a daily basis to get 10 clients a month is not going to get you 40 clients a month or anything like that. At this stage in time, we want to be signing 5 to 10 clients a week consistently in the next few months. And so as you can imagine, it takes a lot to do that. And to make that happen, I really do have to sit down and just, go through the motions and learn exactly what I've got to do to make that happen. So usually then I'll finish up work at around 12, right? So I've kind of worked from about 9 to 12, very, very productive. And this is where I get the bulk of my actual work done. Like this is the real productive work. And then after this, then I'll have my breakfast, okay? So quick breakfast, and then I'll probably hit the gym. Okay, now I don't hit the gym every day, right? So I probably hit it like 4 or 5 max per week. On the days that I am working out, I'm going to have a quick breakfast, nice and light, hit the gym, and then that'll take me, roughly an hour in the gym, right? So let's say then I'm back at 1 to 1:30 p.m. And at this stage, I don't have a meal straight after because I've only just had breakfast, an hour or an hour and a half beforehand. So what I actually do is I do what I call light work here. Okay, so light work is like, for example, I might have calls. And this is where I'm going to do things like, emails, respond to everyone on Slack, make sure everything is good with the team and we're doing what we're meant to be doing. Just kind of like running the business stuff, right? No crazy thinking, no problem solving really, just kind of like checking in, see how things are going, maybe give a bit of advice on this. Maybe there's a tiny problem we've got to put our attention on. And it's just really light work, right? It doesn't take a lot of my mental energy, but it's just something that's got to be done. So the next thing I'll probably do is I'm going to have the lunch, right? So have a lunch, and at this stage, what I try and do is I try not to like look at my phone or basically do anything while I'm eating. I'll try and just eat, right? Just eat by itself. Now, sometimes, I'll maybe read, or for example, at the moment, because I'm in Spain, I'm going to sit out in the sun, eat my lunch in the sun in the private terrace, because why not? And something I've really realized with, when you take your breaks for food or just a break in general, don't take your break and then go on your phone. Right? Like, don't take your break and start, just immediately hopping onto social media or texting people. Like, set a different time for that if you have to do it in your life. But like, ultimately, your break should be a break, right? You should not really be thinking of that much things, and you shouldn't have this new stimulus, right? Of social media likes, comments, and follows, and all of this stuff, because that's just going to cloud your reality of your day-to-day life. And that's something I've definitely found, that I'm much happier and more fulfilled when I can do that, right? So when I take my breakfast and my lunch and my dinner, like that's really all I'm doing, right? The odd time maybe I watch a quick episode of something, or I do a bit of reading on my Kindle, but the vast majority of the time, that's what I'm doing. I'm eating, I'm taking a break, I'm recharging, refueling, and I'm going to come back to my laptop with more focus, drive, and energy to actually get stuff done. Now, after lunch, I'm probably going to do, again, a little bit more light work. This list is starting to add up quite a lot here. So light work, and then I'm going to also mix in like a walk or maybe a swim, right? So because I'm in Spain, I can hit the beach. It's only like 10-15 minutes away. I can walk down, nice stroll, nice break, and get a good swim in. Okay, so that's something that I'm doing at the moment. But this time here, this is probably from about 3 p.m. to like 6 p.m. Okay, and this is ultimately just unscripted, right? So it's a walk one day, it's the beach the next day, it's just light work on one day, or maybe I'm hopping on a call with people on the team and we're going over things. It really does depend. And because I work with most of my clients in the US, really for me, the time after 6 p.m. is when calls really start kicking in, okay? So we might have had 1 or 2 previously in the day, but the vast majority, if we do have calls booked, are going to be in this time. Okay, so I don't do calls every single day. I just do sales calls on basically 4 to 5 days a week. And so yeah, this is essentially call time, right? So if it's a day where we don't have a lot of calls, it means that I have extra time, so I can spend time doing something else. So that's kind of what I spend that evening block doing. So this could be until maybe 8 p.m. or in some cases it's 9 p.m. because we've actually had to kind of extend our times because we work with businesses in the US. Like a lot of times they're only like getting their day started and we're clocking off. So we kind of just have to make that exception for them. And then like the last thing is going to be really like the wind down routine. So what I'm doing at the moment, and this is working so well for me, is that I clock off, right? If it's 8 or 9 p.m. and I have my last meal, okay, let me just put that in there. So I have my last meal and then I hit the sauna. There's a sauna in this building, so I can basically go down there for about 20 minutes and just sweat it out, you know, release loads of toxins and all of that stuff from my body and just really relax. Like I absolutely really enjoy that time. It's relaxing, it's good for me as well, and so it's something I'm really enjoying at the moment. And what I love about it is that I do the sauna for maybe 20 minutes, then I come back and I do a cold shower, right? I know what you're thinking, cold shower, ew, but like you've just come from like a really, really hot room. So a cold shower is going to be fine. You're going to actually enjoy it. So that's what I do, you know, clean myself up, do all of that kind of thing. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm setting the plan for the next day, right? So, you know, I set a rough plan for the next day and I basically map out my day hour by hour on my calendar. So I can see basically, for example, okay, it's Wednesday tomorrow and I've got calls here, here and here. Right, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. let's say, I've got one at 3 p.m. and then I've got one at 11 or 12. Okay, so I can just map out around those calls and I can put in my deep work at the start of the morning, then I've got my call, then I've got my break and I hit the gym, and then I've got another couple of tasks in here, then I've got more calls, and I can just fill it in like that. And that's essentially how I structure my whole day. And I do that the night before. I don't do that in the morning because in the morning I'm coming up, I'm showing up and I'm doing my work. The night before, I'm setting that plan and setting that vision. So that's what I do. And then really the last thing and then is just to relax, clock off and enjoy the night before going to bed. So for me, you know, this could be just reading, right? Simple bog standard reading a book. This could be chatting with someone significant in my life, or this could be maybe watching a Netflix episode or just a little documentary or something like that. Okay, so there's no set structure on that. It really just depends day to day. There is, you know, I do watch the odd bit of Netflix here and there, so every couple of days I will watch an episode, and like that I'll just spend an hour doing that. It's after I've done all my productive work, I've done the sauna, I've done all those really good things for my health, and now I can just relax, clock off and kind of just wind down. And then the last thing is going to be bedtime, right? So for me, I try and get to bed at around 10:30 or 11. That's kind of the rough figure I look for. And then in bed I'll read for like 30 minutes. Okay, so I'll read my Kindle for around 30 minutes and I'll journal if there's anything on my mind or anything that's taken up my thoughts. And then my nighttime routine is something I'm obsessed about. As you can see, these are blue blocker glasses. And then when it gets to around 9 p.m, I put on these other glasses that if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you've probably seen. They've got this really orange look on them and they block out so much blue light and they just basically dim everything. Okay, so they dim all the bright lights and colors that might be going on inside. So those are really key for me, really, really important. And I'll do other things like, you know, I'll turn off all the main lights and I'll turn on, I've got this nice red light that I'll turn on. So I'm really just setting this kind of atmosphere for I'm winding down and I'm giving those signals to my body that I'm getting ready to sleep and, you know, relax. So I'll also turn off my phone around an hour before bed and any devices. Okay, so usually the phone will probably go off around 9 p.m. when I'm kind of doing that shutdown mode, but then I'll turn off, say, my laptop or if it's the TV at around maybe it's 10. Right, so if it's at 10, I'm going to aim to be in bed for 11. That gives me that hour. I can do my reading and then I can just go to bed knowing that I've done all the good things for the day and yeah, ready to get a good 9-hour sleep. Now I know a lot of you might be looking at that and think, Jesus Christ, that's boring. Right, or like, what are you doing? That's so monotonous. That's so focused on work and productivity and things like that. And ultimately, like, and this is just what works for me, right? So there's been times in my life where I definitely did not follow a structure like this. And I went out partying all the time and I was basically doing stuff all day that wasn't work and it wasn't those kind of productive things. And this is just what's working for me at the moment. Like, I'm sure I'll look back in 10 years and I'll be doing something completely different with my time, right? But at the moment, this is what I'm doing. And like, at the moment, there's not a whole lot going on in terms of like, you can't do much in the world right now. My main focus is growing my businesses, right? Because one, I have the time to do that and I have no excuses. And secondly, because I like it. I enjoy this process and it's something I'm very passionate about. So of course I want to actually do it. Now, of course, if you're looking to build more of a lifestyle business where you do a lot more fun things in your day to day, maybe you're like, you're going to the beach and then you're going jet skiing and then you're climbing a mountain, like you can do all those things as well, 100%. You can fit them in. It's just about making the time for them. And just for me at the moment, I don't go out and do a lot of very quote unquote fun or crazy things like partying or stuff like that. And that's really just because like I don't need any extra excitement or stressors in my life, because running the businesses I'm running, like that takes a lot of my focus and it takes a lot of energy, and a lot of things come up in there where like that can cause stress. So I don't want to have this other stress as well and then have this kind of cataclysmic stress in the middle. So again, this is just what works for me, and I'm not saying that you should go and follow this routine. This is just what I do. Now, if you want me to do like a full live walkthrough, like a vlog style, bringing you through everything I'm doing at the time of doing it, let me know. I would definitely be open to that concept and doing a video about that if you guys want to see it. And as always, hopefully you have hit subscribe and you've hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.